Good management is the art of making problems so interesting and the solutions so creative that everyone would want to come to work and try to solve them. I'm not exactly sure if this is what happens in real life work examples, but I can at least say this is what happens in our POM classroom. Hi, I'm Alen and I belong to the NITI 2012-14 batch, and I want to share with you some of the experiences, some of the learnings from the POM classroom taken by Professor T. Prasad. Now, I want to actually divide the class into three distinct parts. One is the concepts that we have learned, and second, the exercise that we have done in the class, and finally, third, the general learning that we got from the class in the way of the slogans, in the way of the stories, in the way of the experiences that we had in class as children. Now, the very first exercise which we did was a tower building exercise. Here, the professor asked one student to make tower out of these little cubes, and everyone had to make a prediction as to how many cubes can go into the tower without the tower actually breaking up. Now, we were asked to repeat this experiment, but this time there was a catch. The student who was going to do it was to be blindfolded, and another student will give him instructions as to how to build it. And we were again asked prediction as to how many cubes will go into the tower. And what we observed that almost every student predicted low except for one. And this exercise taught us a very important concept, and that is setting goals. He explained the concept of realizable goals, achievable goals, potential goals, achieved goals, etc. using this exercise, and it is very interesting. Now, the next concept that we studied was one of the most amazing concepts that have come upon this particular module, and that is regarding excellence. The professor taught it as excellence equal to efficiency into effectiveness, and he taught it using the Khan Academy as an example. Now, Salman Khan, an alumnus of MIT, actually made a repository of YouTube videos which he shared with the complete world so that anyone with an internet access can actually look into the videos and study almost every topic in high school level. And this was an amazing example of how efficiently it developed the style and how effective it was considering the present environment. This actually reminds me of a quote by Stephen Conway, who said that efficiency is actually the ladder of success and how efficiently you can climb that ladder of success. And effectiveness is knowing where to lean that ladder against. Now, the third exercise that we did was a valley crossing exercise. And this taught us a very important concept that is needed in management, and that is teamwork. Using this concept, we were taught what actually constitutes a successful team, how a team works, how it should be planned, what are the things which are needed for effectively carrying out a task, etc. Now, in between this exercise, I also remember all of us going into the pattern and actually playing the toy. It was actually a kind of puzzle which we have to solve. And even using this, he actually explained the way in which we as managers approach a problem. We can split it into a simple problem, a complex problem, a simple solution and a complex solution. And what is expected of us managers are actually simple solutions for complex problems. And I think what happens in the real world is complex solutions for simple problems. The next concept, and again one of my favorite, was actually a Chinese video called Three Monks, which was shown in the class. This was a very interesting video, very funny, very short. Everyone was attending interesting. And he used this to taught us the importance of job design and productivity. But by this time, we were also applying all these other concepts that we have learned before, like teamwork, like excellence, like efficiency, everything into this three months video it's also. The final concept and the exercise that we did was learning organization structures. And we did it by actually studying the structure of different leaves from different trees. We found that there are so many different kinds, actually a plethora of varieties of trees with such difference in their organization structure. And he used it as an example, as an analogy to teach us the different organization structures that exist in organizations as well. Now, apart from these classrooms, there are other things which happens which are really interesting. One of the thing is obviously the blogs that we write. I was already a blogger. I used to write personal blogs, but this was the first time I was asked to write management blogs, where I have to explain the concepts and even explain the experiences, learnings, just as I'm explaining the video over here. And also another interesting part was the company analysis that we did. We had to take a company and analyze it based on the concept that we have learned. Mine was Accenture, and I wrote about the culture of Accenture, the organization structure of Accenture, what constitutes its excellence or its efficiency, etc. etc. Now, beyond this, we also got lot of learning experience as in the way we apply these concepts in different scenarios, and that is one of the major takeaways of this class. And the final facet that I found interesting in this POM class is actually the general learning that we got. He gave it in forms of slogans like Socho Becho, Becho Siko, Siko Socho, and Aaj ki roti, Aaj hi kamana, etc. He regularly motivated us to go into entrepreneurship. And for a person who was already interested in entrepreneurship, it was very heartwarming to actually sit in the class and getting inspired by a professor to go into that particular field. And probably above all that I have learned in POM class, this is one thing which I will remember for a very long time.